Update. Would I be the a-hole if I ask my husband to choose between me and his friend? Original post. I've been with my husband for 17 years. We, 37 female and 44 male, have kids, a dog, and we used to own a business together. He has this friend, who happens to be his little brother's ex-girlfriend, 30 female. She's been in and out of our lives since she broke up with my brother-in-law over 12 years ago. Over the last 4 years or so, she's been constantly messaging my husband. She never sends me a message unless my husband tells her that he's not home and she's on her way. Happened only once in 4 years. She's engaged and has a baby on the way. Both my husband and his friends say they have a brother-sister relationship. My kids don't like her or her kid. Her kid is 7 years younger than our youngest child. They feel like they have to babysit her when she comes over. This is what bothers me about their relationship. 1. I am never included in their conversations online, even when she invites herself over. 2. My husband once told his brother that he thought she was hot and that if he were younger and single, he would try to date her. My brother-in-law sent me a message to warn me about their relationship. When I spoke to my husband about it, he laughed it off and told me his brother was jealous. 3. During an intimate moment, my husband told me that she was the only person he would ever ask to do a threesome with us. That was never discussed between us before, not even the option of a threesome. 4. When she comes over, she barely speaks directly to me, always to my husband. I have to butt into the conversation for her to even acknowledge me. I'm tired of feeling like the third wheel in their friendship. Last year, he gave me one of his old cell phones because mine had broken. He hadn't logged out of his Messenger account, so I used it to my advantage and read their messages at the time. He had admitted to her that he told his brother she was hot, and that if he were younger and single, he would date her. He then told her I wasn't home when he said that, and that I didn't know exactly what he said. Her response was to send him an emoji, basically saying it was hilarious. Ever since, I feel like they both occasionally disrespect me in their conversations. All he does is talk about her, often. He never makes her wait when she texts him, yet sometimes when I text him, he takes a half hour to answer me. So tell me, would I be the a-hole if I told him that he had to choose between his relationship with me and his friend? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole, but be prepared to follow through if he doesn't pick you. That's what I'm telling myself. I would talk to a lawyer to see what divorce would look like, so you're prepared and can start getting your ducks in a row. In your shoes, I'd hire a PI to see what they're doing when they are not around you, if you catch my drift. Not the a-hole for asking him to choose, but you know it isn't going to go well. She lives in another city, my husband's hometown. It's accessible by bus and metro. We never go to her place ever. She usually comes to our place with her fiancé. I'm pretty sure that whatever's going on with them is taking place on Messenger in a private conversation. Her fiancé doesn't use Facebook or Messenger. He'll tell you he chooses you, but he won't mean it. He's not being considerate of you in your own home. You've tried to talk about it, and he's brushed it off. You've got to become selfish at this point. You need to choose yourself. If that means gray rocking, or roommate behavior, or a child separation, or going straight to divorce, it's up to you. But he isn't going to choose you over his friend, or her over you either. He's going to choose his own comfort because his back isn't yet against the wall. I hope you have something of a support network to help you through this mess. He'll like to have both. Now for the first update 2 months later. We've had several talks over the last few weeks. At first, he wanted to work things out. As a matter of fact, he says he never meant any of it and keeps apologizing for breaking my trust. Now he's just being a plain prick. Then he flipped and decided that, since I don't want to work on things, he left for his brother's house. He hasn't seen our kids in the past month. He talks to them on the phone, but that's about it. So far to piss me off, he's cut mine and the kids' cell phone service, so I had to get us new SIM cards because otherwise we wouldn't have phones. He's refused to pay anything for school supplies and uniforms. He doesn't want to give me a dime. He hasn't done his taxes this year, which means I won't get any family allowance, CCTB, cutting $1,800 a month from my budget. I was able to sign the kids up for local school supply distribution. The only thing they don't help with is the uniforms. Thankfully, only my older two need uniforms. My oldest has some old uniform shirts that will be passed down to my other child, which means my daughter will be wearing her older brother's shirts. She's really annoyed by the situation and has been giving me a lot of attitude about it. But at the moment, I can't afford t-shirts at $35 a piece with the school's logo on them, so she has no choice. Unfortunately, uniforms are mandatory. I spoke to his friend as well. I told her everything that was going on. He told her he left me because I cheated on him, which isn't true, and she blames herself for what happened. Personally, I just think she was putting on a show. I haven't spoken to her since. If you ask me, I still think she's a hypocrite. Finances are tough. I barely make ends meet. Thankfully, food banks exist because once rent is paid, I barely have anything left over for bills and groceries. I still haven't been able to get the money for a lawyer yet. I've tried taking loans, but that didn't go over well. I've tried to borrow sub, and that hasn't worked either. Now it's like we're in a state of Cold War. He refuses to talk to me for the time being. I guess he'll come around eventually. For the kids' sake, I hope. I feel like sometimes I'm drowning in all this mess. Go file for child support at your local courthouse. You can utilize self-help to assist with filling out forms. Also, get some alimony just to be an a-hole. File your own taxes using the kids as your dependents. Then he won't be able to get the refund, even if you didn't have income. I would file for divorce and ask for immediate financial support and full custody of the kids, as he has had no physical contact with them. Stop playing with your kids' stability and mental health. Move forward and be their parent. Soon-to-be ex can go play with his friends. This OP. Also, see if you can get exclusive use of the house while the divorce is pending. Edits and mini updates. A lot of comments have come up on this post. I didn't expect so many. I've read as many as I can, and I'll address a few points. 1. He's gone to stay with his other brother, the second one in the family. My soon-to-be ex is the oldest of 3. It's the youngest of his brothers who told me what's up. 2. I filed my taxes back in March. He was supposed to file his a few weeks later. At the time, everything was good between us, and I listed him as my spouse because that's what we've been doing for the past 17 years since we got married. I have to file my next taxes as single. 3. The school uniforms. My oldest kids are in high school, a public high school. Uniforms are mandatory across the school board. I've contacted the school, and unfortunately, they don't have any low-cost uniforms. They suggested I check local thrift shops. They do have an emergency budget for uniforms, but only if you have recently arrived in the country. 4. I've contacted several lawyers. I know what my rights are. I know how much it's going to cost me to take him to court. He's quit his job, so suing him for alimony or anything else is going to be tough. I don't qualify for legal aid based on previous taxes. It takes at least 90 days of him being out of the family home for me to do anything against him. He's been gone for less than 2 weeks. 5. As for family, I have been no contact with my parents since 2010. They do not know my younger children, nor do they care. I won't be getting into the reasons why here. 6. His family. They have always been low contact with us. His parents have never liked me, and the brother he is staying with doesn't like me either. Edit 2. For those saying the timeline doesn't add up, I left with my 4 kids at the beginning of July to visit my elderly grandmother, who doesn't live in the same province as us. It was supposed to give us breathing time to try and work things out. When I came back with the kids, he was already gone. When I was at my grandmother's, he would barely talk to me but would talk to our kids via messenger. My trip with the kids to my grandmother's is a yearly trip. I didn't know that he would go from wanting to stay and work things out to leaving. I was blindsided by that. Edit 3. I do have a PayPal account. I'm not going to start making posts on Facebook blasting him. I'm not setting up a GoFundMe either. I don't want him finding anything out. I don't want to get charged with trying to ruin his reputation either. I don't want him to have anything to use against me in court. Second update 7 months later. It's been a long while since I've updated everyone about what's going on. It's been almost 8 long months since he left. Everyone was right when they said he would end up with her. They got married in a civil ceremony on Christmas Day. The only time he asked me for the kids was for the 2 weeks during Christmas break. He wanted them there for his wedding apparently. He barely talks to the kids now. The kids text him several times a week to let him know what's up with school and their activities. He barely answers them. When he does, he complains about how I won't let him take them overnight. He still posts pictures of his new family daily on social media. They are still taking weekend trips and all that. I hate how he's flaunting everything for our older kids to see. Our oldest is going to college in the fall and he's worried about covering his school fees. When he tried talking to his dad about it, his dad told him that now he's almost an adult, so it's not his problem anymore. I did take him to court. I found myself a good lawyer who took on my case for free. We had our first court date last week. It went well. I got full custody of the kids. We have another court date to determine child support. He's still not working legally, so the judge is having a hard time setting an amount for child support. So far, all the documents he brought to court show that he is on welfare and that his new wife pays their rent, bills, and vacations. I don't buy any of that. Neither does the court. He's been ordered by the court to provide documentation proving that he has done his taxes this year, and he has to try and place himself within the job market in a reasonable amount of time in order to provide for the children he does have. Our next court date is in April. Hopefully, he'll get his stuff sorted out. As for me, I'm still working 2 jobs to make ends meet. I'll be moving next month with the kids into an apartment in a co-op building, where my rent will be much lower than what I am paying now. I'm stressing out about my finances. Moving is expensive. I have to hire a company to help me move all our stuff. Plus, with my son starting college soon, summer break and everything else, I'm stressed out all day, every day. All I see are expenses coming up. I'm still exhausted all the time. I work more than I am at home with my kids. I hope that within the next year, things get better for us. I've started my own small business online. Hopefully that picks up too. I haven't started dating either. I'm not interested in meeting anyone yet. For those of you who wrote to me saying I blew up my life and family and called me the a-hole in this situation, I don't think I was the a-hole. I deserve better. His wife will end up paying his child support most likely depending on the state. We are in Canada. They aren't legally married yet. They only did a civil ceremony and didn't have a marriage license. My ex admitted this in court. Their marriage has no legal value for the moment. Knowing how he is, they won't ever get a marriage license. I'm sure in Canada, legally married or not, they may be considered common law partners, depending on how long they've been together. If that's the case, ask your lawyer if they can review their earnings as a household, since she's apparently paying for everything. They have only been together since August or September, if my memory serves me right. They have to be living together for 12 months to be considered common law. Their marriage has no legal value. I've already discussed this with my lawyer. You have never been the a-hole. The a-hole has always been your husband. I know it's not much, but I am sending love to you and your children. I cannot imagine how he could just basically abandon his children and his wife. Do you have friends that could help with the move? Here's hoping this new bride will do the same to him. Karma is a B after all. Keep your head up. I know it feels like you lost, but your husband is the loser. You are a wonderful mother and you are a good wife. I've asked friends to help with the move. Most of them are working on that day. Those who do want to help can only help on weekends. I have to move in the middle of the week. I can't postpone it any longer. My current landlord has given me an extension already. My new place will be available on the 11th of March. I've gotten in touch with a moving company. After talking with the owner about my situation, they've offered to move me at a discounted rate. Instead of paying $1,200 for the moving costs, it will cost me $875 instead. I just have to pay 50% up front when I sign the contract with them next week, and the other 50% once the move is done. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to donate sperm to my wife's friends? So we went out with my wife's friends, a lesbian couple. We'd had a really great time, And when we went to bed, my wife just asked how I felt and how I felt about them. So I just said that I felt pretty good. It was a nice night, and they are pretty awesome, all that. My wife then told me that they are thinking about using my sperm to conceive a child for them. She was very happy about it and said that she was glad to hear that I really enjoy spending time with them too. I told her that she misunderstood because I don't really feel comfortable with that idea. It's just too close, and I would kind of father a child that I would have some sort of relationship with. The idea of being around a biological child that I am not really raising and have to kind of pretend is not mine just felt horrible to me, and I did not feel comfortable with this at all. But my wife pressured me and called me a bit selfish for not wanting to whack off quickly and be done with it. So I argued that maybe it would be better for them if they got the sperm of a brother or cousin to get the other woman pregnant, since that would at least make the child biologically related to both of them. Why me? And so they want it to be me because they would like a blonde-haired child, and neither of them are. So with my sperm, the chances would be bigger. I am still refusing, but my wife keeps telling me that I am making too big of a deal out of it, and that it's selfish to not just donate and be done with it. So yeah, am I the a-hole for this? Now for the top comments before the mini update. Not the a-hole. Don't do it. You would regret it. Offer for your wife to have a baby for them and give it to them, and see how she feels about that idea. I raised the surrogate mother argument with her. If the roles were flipped and I offered her womb to a gay friend of mine, how would she feel? But she argued that in no way is donating sperm and going through pregnancy the same. Fair enough, it's not the same, but yeah, I still don't want to do it. Not the a-hole. Your wife had no right offering up your sperm to anyone without discussing it with you first. Just like not every woman is able to be a surrogate or donate an egg and let go of a child they helped create, we should not presume every man can walk away from their biological child. Curious, would this hypothetical child know you are their biological father, or are you expected to live a lie? I'm not sure what the plan is, if I am supposed to be the father officially, or if I am expected to be a family friend. I just don't think I can deal with that. It might be different if it was some random stranger, but I will have some presence in this child's life, but I won't be raising it. Something to keep in mind, if there is not a sperm bank involved, then you could be hit up for child support on down the road. I have read of that happening more than once. It has happened more than you would imagine. The moms split up and then you get to pay child support, or one of them loses their job and again you are paying. Once you start paying them, you will be doing it until the child is a grown-up. You may not mind doing this, but if you lose your job somehow and you still have your own family to support, you may end up kicking yourself for it. Now for the edit/mini update. I'm getting comments here faster than I could possibly reply, so I'm going to answer some questions this way. 1. I think I made it seem like this was the first time I met them. It isn't. I've known them for a couple of years now, and we even spent a weekend together at some point. This is just the first time this has ever come up. 2. I didn't consider child support as a factor, but now I definitely am. I don't think they are after my money exactly. There's not that much to get anyway, but you never know how this hypothetical situation would evolve. 3. Right now, I hope this was just a joke from them that stuck in my wife's head and that she got too tipsy and picked it back up. I posted here because I got very emotional, but I will be bringing this back up with her in a more serious conversation. 4. No will stay no, no matter the reasons or motives that anyone brings up.